Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome to today's Veterans Day STEM in Your Home event. My name is Bruce Bouquet, and I'm a professor and associate dean at New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT. Today's event is a project of the National Science Foundation funded Leadership and iSTEAM for Females in Elementary School project and its successor, STEM for Success project. Today's event is a project of the National Science Foundation funded Leadership and iSTEAM for Females in Elementary School project and its successor, STEM for Success project, which are led by NJIT. STEM for Success works to foster participation in STEM by sharing STEM experiences and virtual resources for kids. We will hold a professional development event this winter and hold event like today's every month or two, among other activities. Please visit stemforsuccess.org, shown on your screen, for more information about our work, or you can contact us at clear@njit.edu. We want to recognize any veterans viewing today's program and thank them for their service to our country. We are joined today by 3 NJIT undergraduate STEM for Success role models, Natalie Wilson, Joel Heredia, and Emma Hamza. They will present 2 STEM demonstrations. If you have questions during the presentation, please add them at the end of the file given under the YouTube video description. You may have to click on Show More in order to get the link. The file is being monitored so we can answer your questions during the presentation. On behalf of myself and my colleague, Professor James LaPuma, and the entire STEM for Success team, we hope you enjoyed today's STEM in Your Home event. I now turn it over to Natalie Wilson.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Wilson. I'm currently a second-year chemical engineering student at NJIT, and I am one of the STEM mentors for STEM for Success. So I want to talk a little bit about what got me into STEM. So I was always interested in science as a kid, and I really felt that it was a field that could make me do something good for the world. And I know that a lot of people struggle with accessibility for STEM. A lot of people feel discouraged as rather people of color or women. So I knew that working for this project would really help to amplify the voices of people who don't feel like they're able to reach STEM as well as other people. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Joel, and he's going to introduce himself and talk about his video where he was skydiving. So Joel?
Thanks, Natalie. So my name is Joel Heredia. I am a 4th-year NJIT student, and I'm also a math major. I started getting interested in STEM when I was younger. I went with my cousin to a robotics fair where they make all these robotics out of scratch and things like that. What interested me the most is the concepts they learned was enabled to make these robotics, and robotics that allow you to pick up things, allow you to move one robot to the next destination and such as that. So I was fortunate enough to able to go skydiving with the U.S. Golden Knights, which invited all these STEM programs to come skydive with them. And from that, I learned the safety of skydiving and I got to go down there, drive down to, I believe, Williamstown to enjoy the day with them. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys the video that I made for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, I'm Joel Heredia from STEM for Success. Today I'm going to be showing you a video about gravity. And no better way to show gravity than to jump out of a plane. But before we go to that video, I want to show you guys a couple concepts. First concept we're going to be looking at is gravity, which is the physical attraction between an object to a much larger object. On Earth, we quantify our gravity as about 32. Hey guys, I'm Joel Heredia from STEM for Success. Today I'm going to be showing you a video about gravity. And no better way to show gravity than to jump out of a plane. But before we go to that video, I want to show you guys a couple concepts. First concept we're going to be looking at is gravity, which is the physical attraction between an object to a much larger object. On Earth, we quantify our gravity as about 32 feet per second square, or in other words, if an object were to fall towards the Earth, for the first second is falling at 32 feet a second. After 2 seconds, it's falling at 64 feet a second. That's not accounting for air resistance, which is actually our next concept. Now on Earth, if we were to drop a phone in the feather, the phone will obviously hit the ground before the feather because air resistance is acting upon the feather more than the phone. Whereas if we were on the moon, the phone and the feather would hit the ground at the same time and at the same rate. Now knowing these two concepts, we can move on to our example. Now if we were to jump out of an airplane, gravity would be pulling us down to the Earth right away. And during our fall, we would have air resistance, which is pushing against gravity. Taking these two forces into account, we can calculate our terminal velocity, which for this example is going to be 150 miles per hour. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to hit the ground at 150 miles per hour. So let's look at our other example, where this time we jump out of an airplane with a parachute backpack. Now when we jump out, of course, gravity starts to pull us down right away. And during our fall, we deploy our parachute. Now our parachute allows us to gain more air resistance, allowing us to decrease our terminal velocity to 11 miles per hour. As a result, we get to land safely on the ground, and happy so be it. Now that I've shown you guys the concepts of falling, let's move on to our next video, me tandem jumping with the U.S. Army Golden Knights. Let's move on to our next video.
Hey Joel, what's going on today?
Nothing much, man. Just really excited to jump out of this plane right now.
Going up 2.5 miles above the earth, gonna throw you out of an airplane. Have you ever done this before?
Nope.
First time.
First time?
That's amazing. Well, somebody just did a backflip in your video on a bike, so that's pretty cool too. Well, we're gonna go, like I said, 2.5 miles up. Any last word? I mean, anything you'd like to say before we make this jump happen?
Mom, don't be mad. I didn't tell you yet. But just know I'm gonna make it out safe.
Mommy's in good hands. We're gonna take care of them. Joel, we'll see you up there. Have a great skydive. Here we are, about a mile above the earth. Now we're not even quite halfway there. How you feeling?
I am so excited, man. This view is so great.
The view is amazing. We have that door wide open, fresh air in. You can see really beautiful day today. We're honored to share the skies with you. Ready to do this?
What's that?
Ready to go?
Heck yeah.
Ryan? Yeah, let's do it, man. You look more sure about this than Ryan does. No. No, you're good. You guys are good. We'll see you outside the airplane. Have a great skydive.
Can't find a way
coming in fast.
You are free to go, my man. Go ahead.
All right, Joel, you just jumped out of an airplane at the U.S. Army Golden Knights. Turn around this way. Tell me what you thought about it.
Man, it was awesome.
Everything you hoped for? What do you got to say to your mom now?
I made it.
So you can't be mad, Mom. Hey, Joel, thanks for spending the day with the U.S. Army Golden Knights. We appreciate everything you do for the local U.S. Army. And blue sky.
Well, thank you, Joelle. The show that even in the most fun things like skydiving, you're still going to be able to see science at work, like with gravity. So we do have a few questions for Joelle. So the first question comes from Jim, and it says, what is your most memorable STEM experience from when you were younger?
Like I would say, when I went to the robotics fair when I was a kid, that was the first time I saw STEM at work. So I really enjoyed that as a kid, and I believe, what got me into STEM. And I apologize, I'm not on my computer because I'm having some Wi-Fi difficulty, so I'm on my phone using the data.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so the next question for you is, what did it feel like when you were jumping out, and what did it feel like when you opened up your parachute and you finally had that air resistance on you?
So the first part of the question, when I'm literally standing outside the door looking down, that was probably the most scariest part, or the most nerve-wracking, because I never skydived before, so I didn't really know what to feel once I jumped. But besides that, the fall was pretty smooth. Well, to say smooth is kind of a lack of a better word, but it felt great after I jumped. And when the parachute deployed, it was very smooth too. Afterwards, you're just gliding in the air, and it's like a gentle fall.
Awesome. Okay, so last question. Would you recommend everybody to skydive at least once in their life?
I believe it's a great experience. I would also say to tell your parents before you go skydive instead of keeping it a secret. But besides that, I think it's a very awesome experience. I think everybody should try it if you can.
Awesome. And yes, if any of you guys out there are thinking of going skydiving, definitely tell your parents. I would not recommend hiding it from them until you already did it. But thank you, Joel. That was a great video. So we're going to move on, and our next STEM mentor, Emma Hamza, she is going to introduce herself and talk a little bit about her experiment where she made old pennies look brand new again. So Emma, all yours.
Hi guys, I'm Emma. I'm a second year chemical engineering student here at NJIT. So my video today is about cleaning pennies. It's a very simple experiment that anyone could do at their home, and it involves using only items that you would find in your house. So it's a very easy and fun experiment that everyone could do.
Hey guys, I'm Joel.
Hi, I'm Emma Hamza, a chemical engineering student at NJIT and one of the female STEM for Success mentors. Have you ever looked at some pennies and wondered, wow, these are pretty dirty. I wish they were bright and shiny again. Well, you can easily make them look new again with just a few household items. Let's get started. For this experiment, you'll need some pennies that are dirty or tarnished, some salt, a glass container and something to stir with, a measuring cup, a fourth cup and half a tablespoon, a towel, and some sort of vinegar. Any of these options will work. To start, measure a fourth a cup of vinegar and add it to your glass container. Next, measure a half a tablespoon of salt and add it. Stir until the salt is completely dissolved. Once dissolved, take a penny and drop it into solution and let it sit for 30 seconds. As the pennies sit in the vinegar and salt mixture, they will begin to react with the solution. As the pennies sit in the vinegar and salt, they begin to react with the mixture, and this is what removes the tarnish. Now that it's been 30 seconds, use your spoon to take the penny out of the mixture. Use a towel and dry off the penny. See? Now it's nice and shiny again. Repeat this experiment, except this time, hold the penny in the solution halfway and wait 30 seconds. Remove the penny and dry it off. Doing this, you can clearly see where the penny has been cleaned and the tarnish have been removed. Feel free to do this as many times as you would like. Here you can clearly see the difference between the tarnished pennies and the clean pennies. Look how much shinier they are. This distinction is most clearly seen on the pennies that are only half cleaned. So how does this all work? Let's start with some basic information about pennies. Pennies are partially made of copper, which coats the outermost layer of the penny. When pennies are made, they start off as nice and shiny. However, over time, as the pennies sit around, the outermost layer of the copper begins to react with the oxygen in the air and creates a layer of copper oxide on the surface. This makes the penny either really dark or sometimes even green. Remove this layer of copper oxide in an experiment, allow the pennies to shine again. So how did mixing salt and vinegar together remove the copper oxide layer? Well, let's look at the properties of our materials. Vinegar, also known as acetic acid, is a weak acid, which means a small amount of the compound will separate in water. Salt is an ionic compound made of a metal, sodium, and a nonmetal, chlorine, which entirely separates in water, creating charged ions. When these two compounds are combined, they react with each other. This reaction leaves the chloride ions alone, which is what we need to clean our pennies. When we put our pennies in the solution, the chloride ions react with the copper oxide of the surface of the penny, creating copper 2 chloride and water, effectively cleaning the penny and making it shiny again. Thank you all for joining us today and participating. We hope you had fun and learned something new.
Thank you, Emma, for that video. I thought it was really cool how you were able to explain all the science behind everything, still make it look pretty cool to have some shiny pennies. So we're going to move on to a few questions we have for you. So the first question is, what are some barriers that you had as a female in STEM?
All right, thank you, Natalie. Well, I'm lucky to be in an environment right now where I'm very supported by my peers and the people teaching me. But sometimes I feel like as a woman in STEM, you kind of have to almost work twice as hard to get the same amount done or to get people to listen to you. There's a lot of like stereotypes and preconceived ideas of women, and that affects how people listen to you and how you work with others. But as of now, I'm lucky to be in a time period where people are more accepting and more understanding. So hoping that continues on wherever I go in my career.
Great. Okay, so the next question comes from Katie. So can you use any other coins besides pennies, including coins from other countries?
So you can use any coin that is coated or made out of copper. In the United States currency, that only applies to pennies because they are, as you saw in the video, they have a zinc interior, but they're coated with an outer layer of copper. Other pennies that we have in our currency are covered in nickel, so it won't react the same. Other countries may have similar materials with copper, made out of copper. So as long as it has that, it will work.
Perfect. Okay, the next question comes from Bruce. Can you touch the pennies directly after you take it out of the solution?
Yeah, you can. Vinegar, it can be a slight irritant depending on if your skin is sensitive or not, but it's a common household item that's used for cleaning and cooking, so it should be fine if you could touch it. You just wipe the penny off after to stop the reaction to get the solution off the penny.
Perfect. Okay, and the last question we have for you is what would happen if you left the penny in the solution for a lot longer than you did? So if, say, you left it for like an hour, a day, what would happen to the penny?
So yeah, if you leave the penny for a longer time period than the 30 seconds, it actually continues the reaction to the point of there is more residue on the surface. It's not the same residue of copper oxide that I explained in the video, but the salt and vinegar reacting with the penny will form a different solute that will stay on the surface of the penny, and it'll probably, I believe it turns white if you leave it in for that long.
Okay, thank you. That was great. So thank you again for your video. So I'm going to pass it back to Bruce, and he's going to give our closing remarks. But before I do, just want to say thank you to Joelle and Emma for your amazing video, and thank you for
everybody for joining us today for this STEM for Success and STEM in Your Home presentation. Want to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you to our STEM role models, Natalie, Emma, and Joelle.
Thank you, guys.
Unmute, so we should be able to talk now. Okay, so Jim is on the phone. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Yes. Oh, he just told Jesse to kill it. So Dan wrote to us that it should. I got the.
Yeah, that was a minute ago, Bruce. A minute or two ago.
Oh, so, okay.
Bruce,